Here, Ane, take my picture.
Take your picture for what?
The yearbook.
The Spice Yearbook?
Yeah. Oh, also, we need more people to come out and join Spice Club. So if you want to hear more info about it, stay tuned and watch this next video.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Guntipali here with Mr. Schmalbach to talk about the Spice Club. How are you, Mr. Schmalbach?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. So what is Spice?
So Spice is the yearbook of Norristown Area High School.
When did Spice originate?
Started in 1896 as what you would probably call a variety magazine. It was published monthly by the students. It contained all sorts of different things, original fiction, poems, information about athletics, information about alumni, all sorts of different things. And it wasn't until the 1920s that they started adding in pictures of the graduates, and then it turned into what we think of yearbooks today.
So, Mr. Schmalbach, how many years has Spice been around for?
So 123 years. So
Wow.
it actually makes it the second longest running organization in the school behind the football team. So it's been a while.
Wow. So, could you tell me how can people join Spice Club?
Well, we want everybody to join, not necessarily everybody. We want lots of people to join. We have meetings weekly in the library, and we're actually having one today on September 18th. And what we're looking for is people to come and to participate and help us put together this book.
So, for the Spice Club, could you tell me who's in charge of making the Spice Yearbook?
Me. I'm the guy in charge, but we don't really run with a hierarchy so much as we have tasks that need to be done and different things. So what we have is like three different things that we need. We need, obviously, pictures. So with no photography, there's no yearbook. It's a visual picture medium. So pictures is a very big part of what we need. So we need lots of photographers. The second thing is we need information. So when we are putting together the chronicle of the year, so what happened from start to end, we're writing about the clubs, the events, the sports teams, and so on. We need the information. So we need people to do the legwork of talking to coaches, talking to students, talking to club advisors, going to the events, tracking what happens at the event so we can write up good descriptive articles that go along with all the pictures to explain what happened at the event or with the team or with the group during this school year.
So, why would you think the Spice Club is important to not just people that are in the club, but to everyone in Norristown?
Well, it's really the thing that tells us what has happened from year to year. So you can pull out any volume of Spice and you can find out what happened during that school year. You can see what were the styles, what was the clubs, what did people go to, what were the big events, who were the teachers, who were the students, who were the people who were, the class president, who was in charge of student council, all these kinds of things, all the different stuff that happens from year to year. This is the repository for all those memories and knowledge. And one thing I always like to point out is, we live in the right now, but we're part of a very long line of history at this school. You can pull out my year, 1995, and you can see me, when I'm wearing a wig for the senior play. You can go back 100 years before that and find stuff. So, this is a long history, and that history is important. We're all a part of something that came before us and will continue after us. So this is our opportunity to make sure that the 2018-19 school year is well represented in that line of history.
So, what are some things that are in the Spice? I know you talked about there's pictures and everything.
Well, primarily it's pictures. It is, for all intents and purposes, a really big picture book. It's 240 pages. We have the seniors are the focus because it's their last year book and they're graduating. So there's senior portraits, the information next to the seniors about what they did, what their future plans are, who their favorite teachers were, all of the major events of the year, like Mr. Norristown, the prom, senior banquet, all sorts of different things like that. There's the senior class picture, there's underclassmen, all of the clubs, all of the sports. And then at the very end, we have what are called baby ads, where parents buy ads and put in embarrassing pictures of their kids to congratulate them. And that's what makes up the book.
So, Mr. Schmalbach, could you tell me how has Spice changed over the years?
Well, like I said, it started out as a magazine. So when you look at the very first, almost 30 years worth of Spice, it's not a yearbook. It's, we think of these big, thick, hardbound yearbooks, and that's what we've had since about the early 1930s. But prior to that, it was actually paperback, and each issue was really only about 20 pages long. The graduation issue was always longer, but it wasn't until, like I said, about 1926 they started putting in the pictures, and it got thicker, and it was bound differently, and it started becoming a yearbook. But what it took was for a school newspaper to start. When the school newspaper started in 1928, that took over a lot of the reporting stuff. So then Spice stopped being monthly, became yearly, became bigger, and became this yearbook the way we think of yearbooks now. It's also in full color. That wasn't until a 2012 book that every page was in color. Prior to that, most of it was black and white. So it has shifted. The photography, the quality with digital photography, we can do a lot more pictures and a lot more interesting things with them. All the layout is online. There's lots of different things that have changed with it. But what hasn't changed is that it's still the thing that tracks what happened in this particular school year.
It's pretty cool. I think I would want to join now, too.
Well, I hope so. I mean, like I said, we need people. We need all grade levels. We need representatives from different organizations. We can't put in what we don't know about, and we can't put in what no one tells us about. So, that's why we need all these people to be involved, because we want to make sure that it represents everyone that's in the school, all the different events, all the different groups that put together make Norristown what it is. So that's what we need.
So, Mr. Schmalbach, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just that, I, as an alum, as the sponsor of this organization since 2003, I have, a vested interest in making sure that we have the best yearbook we can have. And we have a really good yearbook, and I just want to see even more people get involved so we can make sure that the coverage, the information in it really captures everything about this school that makes it great.
I'm Rebecca, here with Mr. Schmalbach to talk about Spice Day. Be sure to go to the meeting today after school in the library. Thank you so much for coming. Back to the Eagle's Eye.